Our last fight of the night was the main event at the Maximum Fighting Championship in Edmonton, Alberta. Pete Spratt came in with nearly 30 fights on his resume and a 2-fight win streak courtesy of the first 2 HDNet Fights events. His opponent Ryan Ford was undefeated, but at just 4-0, the local Edmonton product had yet to face top competition. Talking a lot of trash entering the fight, once the bell sounded, these two let their fists do the talking, but the bout was not without controversy.
Well, this one's been about a month in the making. Kenny, all the trash talk, although Pete Spratt says it's not trash talk from his vantage point.
Hey, guess who the hometown guy is here, by the way? He's not the one from San Antonio, Texas.
Spratt says he loves the fact, he relishes that he's coming in as the underdog, the arch rival, whatever word you want to use. He says he feels that his experience really helps him. He felt that this was the other way around, and he was the hometown guy, that Ford might be intimidated.
And you wonder about Pete Spratt. I don't think there's anything he hasn't seen from the hostile crowds, from guys who have submission skills, that have the all-around game, that have big punches. Pete Spratt, 17-10 officially is his record. He will claim more than that even. He has victories over the likes of Robbie Lawler, Clemente, Junker, a nice win for him in HDNet Fight action down in Dallas. He's lost to guys who happen to be named St. Pierre and Koshik. I think it's a who's who if you look down his list in his career that includes, of course, UFC action, WCC action. He's been in movies, he's been in the UFC reality show, and Pete Spratt, who got that name, by the way, the secret weapon, very young in his career, because the word was that he was the secret weapon for a promoter. They knew they got a guy that was dependable, a guy that could fight well, a guy that would excite the crowd. Then, 4 or 5 fights later, everybody knows the secret's out. But he kept the name. And he also does his own walkout music, by the way, on top of that, as Ron Kruk reminds me, because he's also a rapper. What's left? What's left for this guy?
Well, he's hoping a victory here tonight. It's interesting. Now, Ryan Ford's credentials seem a lot like a young Pete Spratt. Fan favorite. He's very energetic in the ring, very energetic on his way to the ring. The crowd loves him here in Edmonton. In MFC, he's quickly become the fan favorite.
And there you look at Ryan, the real deal Ford. Real deal so far. Interesting, he does have something similar to Pete Spratt. Spratt began as a 10-year-old. He got into boxing, had a nice amateur boxing career way back. Of course, Ryan Ford grew up in a boxing household. His dad ranked as high as 3rd in the world. Al Ford was at one time, and so both these guys with that similar background. But Ryan Ford has been almost like the dream guy, hasn't he? High school wrestling champ 4 times, most valuable player of his football team. 100 meters, record at that time of 10.7. He's a kind of a legend in the making in Edmonton here for 10 years.
Great natural athlete. He was a guy who has actually had scholarship offers to play football down in NCAA. Unfortunately, he kind of got hooked up in the wrong group when he was a younger guy. And Ford, very open about the wrong decisions he made as a young adult. He's really turned his life around. After MFC 13, he proposed to his current fiance at the post-fight press conference, and he credits her to really kind of getting his life back on track, focusing him in, and he's able to release his rage, as he says, in the ring.
Yes, he and his fiancée Nina expecting their first child as well, so Ryan Ford's got a lot to fight for right now. His toughest test, Pete Spratt, is coming up. Let's meet the fighters.
The following fight is brought to you by the River Cree Resort and Casino, who bring you Andrew Dice Clay on March 6th, the official beer of the MFC, Mountain Crest Damn Good Beer, at MaximumFighting.com. This is the main event of the evening. And the contest is in the MFC welterweight division. Your referee is Herb Dean. Introducing first in the blue corner, standing 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 171 pounds, with a record of 19 wins and 10 losses from San Antonio, Texas, Pete the Secret Weapon Spratt. And his opponent in the red corner, standing 5 feet 11 inches tall and weighing in at 169.5 pounds, with a record of 4 wins and no losses from the City of Champions, Edmonton, Alberta.
All right, gentlemen, this is the main event. Protect yourself at all. Follow my instructions. We're going to do this fight clean. Test your ass, comrade.
Scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Ryan Ford, 3 of those victories, 3 of his 4 wins by way of knockout, the other by a rear naked choke. Pete Spratt, he has fought and won about every which way, from 7 knockouts, 7 submissions among his victories. And round 1 is underway.
Interesting, the differences to start off. Spratt, no eye contact as with Herb Dean has the 2 guys coming to center. Ford here showing a little bit of jabbing from his background in boxing. And Ford, clearly his strength, he loves the slams.
And Ford shoots in there and is trying to get the slam on Spratt. Well, Ford looks bigger than Spratt right here, doesn't he?
Oh, for Ryan Ford is maybe one of the strongest guys I've ever seen in the welterweight division. His strength almost unmatched by a lot of guys at 170. He walks around at around 185. He doesn't have a drop a whole lot. He's very compact, and basically every ounce is muscle on him.
Well, he's being tested early. Most of the fighters, probably everyone he's fought so far, would have already been on the ground after that massive shoot-in there, but not Pete Spratt, obviously.
Well, Pete Spratt, this is the test for Ryan Ford. Can he match the experience of a Spratt?
Don't grab the short.
And you see that he's already ripped Spratt's shorts. So Spratt has his shorts ripped down the side on his right leg. We'll see how that comes into effect as this fight progresses.
Herb Dean, you heard him warning Ford there, quick grabbing the shorts. Ford trying for the takedown now. Head first, he goes to the canvas, does Pete Spratt. Spratt bouncing right back up in the corner.
Very impressed by the ring savvy so far of Spratt. Ford's never met a guy like this in the ring so far. His strength normally just overwhelms everyone. Spratt might look a little bit smaller, Kenny, but right now he's matching him strength for strength.
Interesting, isn't it, the buzz you feel here, and there's not been a big punch thrown yet.
No, not a lot of energy except in the building. Not a whole lot happening in the ring so far.
And there's Spratt, who's shown good defense so far. Gives a knee to the back of the thigh of Ford.
Both guys kind of feeling each other out here a little bit.
And now Spratt will try to go to work, and Spratt slams Ford down. And Ford trying to get right back up, and he does, and spins it around, and he's on top.
And there's the strength of Ryan Ford and the quickness. You mentioned, Kenny, he was a guy who ran 10.7 in the 100 meters back in high school. He's very quick and agile for his size.
And now Ford will go to work for the first time with Pete Spratt on the ground. Spratt probably would like to keep it this way. Spratt's very comfortable in this position.
And Spratt, as an athlete, no slouch himself. You got to remember, this was a guy who was an All-American at Southeastern University. Same one of the whole likes of Brett Butler, Dennis Rodman, and others. And Spratt was a very good athlete, still is a very good athlete in his own right.
Herb Dean, he won't waste any time. He warns them, go to work or he'll stand them back up. And you see Ford trying to move around to the side. Spratt standing back up, takes a knee to the for doing so. But both of them back on their feet. Once again, Ford trying to tug at the trunks of Spratt. Spratt gets in the first knee here as Ford pushes hard. Ryan went for the second time about that, and wow, that's just pure muscle. Flips him down in the corner.
The hard
Spratt sticking out there, so they'll move him back out.
What's going to be very difficult here for Ford is the fact that Spratt is so good. If you create any space when you're on top, Spratt's going to get out of it and get right back up. Ford is going to have to be relentless and not allow any space for Spratt to squirm out of.
Spratt, again, he's in a half guard, closed guard, whatever. He's very comfortable. He talks about that, fighting on his back. Kind of likes getting in that half guard position where he feels he can reverse things if necessary on his opponent.
And you just watch Pete Spratt. You see the veteran little moves there. Ford thought he had the head open for a shot. Spratt tucks his chin and head right into his chest. And none of those blows can land because Ford then the only thing he sees is the back of his head and he can't take a shot there without risk losing a point.
Look at Spratt. He spins out of it. Gets a good kick in. Good knee. Ford is down. Ford sticking through the ropes. That's one that's helping him out right now as half his body is outside of the ring.
Well, let's see how Ford responds. That was a big blow by Spratt.
Spratt's best flurry so far. He spins out again. Ford appears kind of aggravated at the moment as he looked at him like, okay, I got it. I give you credit, old man. You know your stuff. And now he slams Spratt to the canvas again.
And you watch Ford. This is late in the round. Ford looks a little bit gassed, and now he lands a few forearms.
And that's the bell.
Oh, that's the bell.
The crowd screaming here. Even Herb Dean, I didn't hear the bell.
Ford landed a pretty big elbow to Pete Spratt after the bell.
That came after a bell that few people heard in here.
The only people that heard it were on the other side. Herb Dean was right there. Spratt was right basically in front where the bell was. He didn't hear it. I didn't hear it. We're on the other side. And Pete Spratt. Now what's interesting, Shoney Carter fought here in Edmonton back in MFC 14. A well-traveled veteran guy. And a lot of people didn't like it. Looked like he kind of tapped out when he wasn't winded. Let's hope Pete Spratt comes back here.
What did you say?
We're listening for the bell. Okay, there's the bell.
Hey, I didn't hear the bell.
We heard the bell, and then there were a couple of forearms delivered by Ford. As you heard Herb say, though, I didn't hear the bell.
This is really playing into the hands of Ryan Ford. Ford looks completely gassed here. I think Spratt obviously is winded somewhat and hurt, but I think Spratt, doing what a good veteran guy does here, just maintaining his composure.
Defense, get your heart down.
And you look at Pete Spratt.
Are you going to be able to fight? Huh?
Give him some time, though, man.
I'll give him some time, but with a head blow, I can't give him that much time. I've given him time out. I'm going to give him some time. How much time do you want? Do you want 2 minutes? Okay.
Herb Dean just said he's going to give him more time. Ron Clark has been checking in on this. Ron, what's going on right now?
No, but I'm going to give him 2 minutes. Okay. Okay. The situation is neither of us heard the bell. It was a late blow. It's an illegal blow. I'm not taking a point. I'm giving him 2 minutes to recover. No point deduction.
Well, it almost looked, when you watch Ryan Ford's reaction, that he might have heard it, but Herb Dean didn't stop him, so he thought maybe he didn't hear it.
I didn't hear it. It's too loud.
And Herb Dean has said, I didn't hear it. Now, it's easy for us because we're really listening to it. So we'll listen again. Okay.
It's hard to hear.
No,
Kenny, I
nobody
was
heard it that
over with
time.
the judges and the referees, and you're exactly right. The bell sounded. Herb Dean did not hear it. I'm not sure if the fighters did, but Ford landed a couple more shots that definitely took their effect on Pete Spratt. Herb Dean decided not to deduct any points. He has an extra couple minutes to regroup. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Ron. Right on top of it as always. So
I'm
Spratt
not going to make that decision until he says
sets in the corner. Now the corner of Spratt's asking Herb Dean right now, if he doesn't answer the bell, is this a no contest given what has happened here.
That was a pretty tough shot for Spratt to take, but let's be honest, Kenny. In his career, he has taken a lot more vicious shots than that. He's got to continue here. His career, and I think he's going to continue. He should. I think Spratt, you know, he's wiping off the cobwebs, but he's taken tougher shots in his career. He'll be back.
To Herb Dean's credit, admitting he did not hear the bell and telling Spratt he's going to give him time. He wants this fight to continue as a new referee should. He's checking in again with Spratt. He okay. Spratt walking it off. Ryan Ford's corner already been informed. Pete Spratt's going to get his time to regroup. 2 minutes.
Ready.
He's ready. Here's round 2. And shooting right in is Ford. Ford maybe sensing blood like a shark would in the water, trying to get the takedown quickly on Spratt. And he does.
And now we'll see if Spratt does have any sort of adverse effects from that shot. We'll see if Ford starts to land a few blows, if Spratt's just going to tire out.
How much did it take out of Pete Spratt?
And you see Spratt pushing out of the hips, try to keep Ford at bay. Interesting to know, Pete Spratt's got the toenail polish on.
He's gone quickly there for the armbar, couldn't get it. Ford too strong and too quick. Right here in front of us now. In on the side, trying again with that elbow is Ford. And Spratt trying to get away. And once again, Ford is one for the last time. As Pete Spratt's right in front of us now and almost in our lap for just a moment as he spills through under the ropes.
Ryan Ford just lost a point. Third time he'd be moored by grabbing the shorts of Spratt. So he's lost a point.
And this goes way back to the first of this fight. Back early in the first round, he was warm. Now Spratt's coming back out, and Ford once again muscles into the canvas.
Pete Spratt landed a great kick there to the head of Ford, and Ford just shook it off like nothing. Ford said he's taken a lot of blows in his young life, and feels that if he has to take a few kicks, it's not going to faze him.
And once again, Spratt goes under the ropes, and they'll reset him right in the middle of the ring.
And fight.
Coming in on the side is Ryan Ford. Spratt quickly gets back on his feet. He blocked that knee with his forearm.
The experience of Spratt has been so noticeable in this fight. Ford has just been unable to really get any sort of consistent attacks.
And a takedown for Spratt.
Defense has been great all night.
Spratt getting a takedown here. And getting the reverses for it.
And that all came from his corner, Jason the Athlete McDonald.
And look, sweeping right back around is Spratt. And Spratt stands up. Holding on is Ford for the single leg. I tell you, the action has not stopped in this fight. They have gone out at full tilt in this one for a fight where we've only had 19 strikes thrown. An amazing amount of action from these guys, wheeling and dealing and trying to work from the ground position, etc.
Well, Ford, he's relentless. He's just like a pit bull. He goes and he goes and he goes, and he's going to have to keep going at Spratt. But what's interesting, that point he got deducted here in the second round could come back to haunt him.
Exactly. That could be a huge point for him. And down is Spratt. Ford trying to work on a choke now. Spratt's got that chin down. No trouble so far as you look at the right arm there. That well-tattooed right arm of Ryan Ford trying to work in here on a rear naked choke. Won't work on Pete Spratt right now.
Well, these guys could have a competition on who's got the best and most tattoos, that's for sure.
Once again, Ford trying to sink it in. Not able to get under the chin of Spratt, though.
No.
Spratt keeps that chin close, very close. Can Ford open him up? He's trying again.
He's just trying to get it underneath him. Oh, he might have
He's
it
working
now.
on the left.
Oh, he's
Spratt
got the
looks
choke.
like he's in trouble.
He's in
Ryan
trouble
Ford
now.
may end this. Ryan Ford trying to turn it on here, crank it up, and end this fight in the second round.
And there's Spratt just continuing to fight out of things.
Again, you look at the competition Spratt's faced, the St. Pierre's and Lawlers and Clementi's and Cossacks, and, you know, he's just been there. He's seen about everything, but right now, he's seeing a very young and hungry Ford. Trying for the choke, he does it. That's it. was a vicious, wicked way to end it, flopping down into that rear naked choke.
Well, you know what's interesting? This fight completely took on a different complexion than what both guys talked about leading in. Everyone thought this was going to be the old behind the backroom bar, throwing knuckles at each other. This is very much more of a technical, strategic type of fight. And, you know, I give Ryan Ford a lot of credit. This was definitely the hardest fight of his career, the ones I've seen in his brief 5 fights. Pete Spratt's defense was exceptional, but eventually Ford just overwhelmed him with power.
Ryan Ford remains the real deal. His first big test against the wily veteran Pete Spratt. And this is the way it wraps up. He got the back, and look at this. He's playing piggyback with some big muscles here, able to sink that big right arm in, and look, locks it in with that left behind his head for good measure.
Great strength, and Pete Spratt, you know, by using his strength, you know, Ryan Ford wanted him to just lift him up there because it put him in that vulnerable position. And there's Ryan Ford. We see him hugging his mom here right in the crowd. He claims she's his hero. And Ryan Ford, onward and upward, he continues here in the MFC.
Wow, Ryan Ford, to the delight of the home crowd, is now 5-0, rear naked choke of Pete Spratt. Let's get the final time.
Referee Herb Dean stops this bout at 4 minutes 1 second of round 2 after Pete Spratt taps out due to a rear naked choke. The winner of this match is